So we had the big gusher last night, so I want to see how the trout stream survived. Looks like I need to do a little bit more digging right there because it came out here. So I got to cut that corner back a little more. Didn't go out into the road, stayed right here. That's good news. And this didn't create any problems as well. I mean, we got a lot of rain, not just a little. It was just pouring cats and dogs. So, the road's still here. And the trout stream is still a trout stream. Let's go up on top and see whether or not those other places did what they were supposed to do. Good thing I had the tractor up here to kind of knock down the high spots. It would have been a lot worse. Yeah, see, it's coming down the road. And this, in my mind, this is past the first test because I was afraid of a washout. But one of the things you get by digging down to the hard pan is it doesn't just go away like normal soil would. You know, it has a little consistency, a little structure. But you can see it's running good. This is the project for the get-together, is getting rid of all these trees. I want to take that and turn it into a little flat spot. Put a little building right there, store hay, you know, so I can bring it off the hill and bring it here. And then instead of having to go all the way up the hill in the wintertime. And part of what I was attempting to do is up here a ways on the road, I wanted to get the water to cross and go out that way to my right hand side. And that's going to be really critical because as we develop this road further up the hill, that means you have more and more and more surface area to collect rain to get channeled into the road. That turns into a problem if you're not careful. And that's a little bit what I'm worried about. But the amount of rain we had last night was significant. So not having this road out in the middle of the county road is probably a good thing. I figured I'd leave that for the guys to get together. Those as well. It'll keep them busy for a weekend, right? Hopefully this ditch over here starts to peter out. It does. See, I'm thinking my first cross culvert is going to be right up there. I think this 400, 500 feet is probably good enough. I don't think it's going to be worse than what we see right now. But if I add another 500 feet to this ditch, now I've got a problem. So I need to make sure that I cross right up there. You can see where the road begins to tilt that way. I need to put a cross culvert there and accentuate this ditch right here. That's on my right hand side. Yeah, see, this one did get a fair amount of water, but it needs more, you know. And then I split the water up right about here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put a cross culvert right in here. That's what we're going to do. It's running pretty good. Little trout stream. Yeah, see, I've got enough elevation change to do it. So I'm going to have to order up some culverts. But I hope you notice that an awful lot of the drainage is not coming from the surface area of the road, it's coming from up here somewhere. And I have to accentuate this here. This looks like it flowed pretty good too. See it? And that's my whole point, is if I can capture that whole section of the field and split it off down here, and it looks like it did, to the little holding pond. See, that worked beautifully. You know? Kind of controls the flow, you know, so it doesn't just turn into a big gusher. And it looks like it worked beautifully. Well, let's put it this way, if I had not split the water flow, I wouldn't be surprised if this whole road would be down the county road with the amount of rain we had. So this was an absolute success. Let's go a little further and see where the water is originating from, because that's kind of critical. How far up does the trout stream go? You can see how it's just running like a river down this road here. Fortunately, it went off to the sides. It worked. I believe it worked. I believe this is a success. I might put a cross culvert on the top too. Bring it over to this side. Now we haven't done much in a couple of days. Just the weather just really has been terrible. So I haven't really had a chance to do much on the road. Equipment's just been sitting there, getting rained on for a few days. Okay. It starts right in here. And if you noticed, it's sitting on top of the hard pan. So this is that case where it gets trapped between that looser, darker, loamier topsoil and the harder packed clay based hard pan. And that's why the trout stream started right here. Basically the surface area above here took all that water in like a mat, and then it got down. It's like putting a rug on a concrete floor. The water soaked through the mat or the rug, got to the concrete floor, and then started leaching to whichever way the grade was, or the gravity asked it to leach. In this case it was the hard packed clay hard pan, and worked its way down to where I am right now, and then started daylighting right there. So anyway, basically you see that there's another ditch behind there that's also trying to catch this surface area here. I'm trying to catch all this and get it before it gets to the road. That's what that ditch line's for, you know. But that's definitely a big, big, big win to see that I've been able to manage that water flow. This is the morning after. Like I said, I'd started somewhere around 2 in the afternoon, and it was heavy, heavy rains into the evening, and then around 2 o'clock in the morning, another 6 hours later, it was still heavy rain, and we had these just gushers for a little while. And I'm surprised there's no flooding elsewhere. See, I tracked down in here with the track hoe, and I did cut some of the trees that were held for the get-together. All the stuff over here is get-together tree material. They won't work. They want things to work for the saws. And I've got projects. Alright. Yeah, this is really, really freaking wet. Standing water. So I'm really curious. So basically you've got, again, I'm trying to trap this water here before it gets down to the road. Again, all this surface area above me, if it's not managed, just imagine all that surface area collecting all the rainwater, and here it comes down the surface. And again, what's happened is the topsoil is saturated. That's why it's all wet, because it can't get down into the hard pan. So you've got this almost 12-inch deep saturated soil with all the water leaching down. And had I not diverted this water, it would all end up on the road, because that's the next place where it can daylight. And these series of ditches are about trying to capture that water before it gets to the road and then manage it. So here's another one that you didn't see before. But I put that little holding pond in down there because he wants that for his cows. And then a ditch line to the holding pond you saw there. And what you got to think about this is these are sort of like dampers or buffers. So if you get a big volume of water, first it fills those up and fills up that area before it starts running over the ditch here, and then the same down there, so it doesn't go gushing down the road. And the plan is hopefully they actually get drained out and they won't be totally full, so the next time we have a big gusher like that, you know, first that initial rush of water fills those up first, then comes over the overflow here, and then goes into that one second. And this, you can see, again, you can see where the water is trapped, right? It's trapped in that upper soil. All this would end up on the road, because that's the direction it was going. It was going towards the road. And right where I'm stepping right now is right where the hard pan soil intersection is. If you look where I cut, you can see the yellow. So this, yet again, is showing you where the water gets trapped on top of the hard pan and saturates the topsoil. So yeah, this is beautifully. See, I can get down my ditch and walk because it's hard there. You know, it'll be easier for me to walk in the ditch than it will be. Yeah. Easier to walk in this than it is on the surface because I'm in the hard pan. Here we are with that holding pond. So yes, that did work. And that captures a lot of water right there. Yep. And then I have another ditch line over here that shunted some of the water away. See if it worked. And yes, it did. See, I cut that down into the hard pan as well. But this one didn't get as much water because that one up there where the holding pond's got more of it. So by the time, yeah, I think this strategy was, see, I'm on the hard pan right now, it's really easy for me to walk. This was a win. But I do have to accentuate this ditch a little more through here. And I want to put a cross culvert from that side over to this side. But now if you understand that whole concept of capturing the water and deflecting it before it gets here, you'll understand why after that heavy rain I didn't have a big problem. Wow.